Ashe, and then they can't really get out of them. The Tahm Kench would have to do some protection, but it basically punishes or makes the days of low mobility carries very bad. So I like the GP here for impact. Question is what they're going to play into it with the Gnar taken away. Rumble. All right. Rumble for Flame. I love watching Flame and Impact go head-to-head, too. Like, there's a lot of great matchups between FlyQuest and Team Liquid here. Kind of watching an old-school, like, Season 3 matchup of Flame and Impact going back to the OGN Champions days.
I like it. It's going to be Flame's first Rumble of the summer split. Third Gangplank for Impact, I believe. I didn't miss one there. So, obviously, Flame knows what he's doing on the Rumble. We'll have to see how the matchup goes for those two, though, because like you said, a great one to watch in the top lane.
Yeah, when I think about Flame, I think about, like, the Kennen, the Renekton. I think of
what I was expecting without the ban as well.
But I mean, I'm throwing myself back, like,
a little more
years
safety.
and years
Oh,
from
for
now.
sure,
Like,
for
the
sure.
Rumble was one of the champions that, back on CJ and his Blaze, he had played and picked up a whole bunch of the side lane farm and then would show up to mid-game team fights and just absolutely obliterate them. So this is another champion that kind of sends me back into kind of the old Flame glory days here. And we'll see what he's able to do up against Impact, because this matchup, I don't think it's incredibly favored for the Rumble. More like mid-game team fighty. He can't contest barrels. He can't really harass the GP too much. He does have some shoving power over him, but it's more, we're going to spike in mid-game, try to have mid-game fights around it. So FlyQuest seems to be focused on that, getting the engages with the Ashe arrow, and then trying to make mid-game fights and rotations happen.
Talking a little bit about mid, let's transition to that discussion. Looking at what happened yesterday with the push focus of Pobelter's Malzahar, now a Syndra, but still that Kindred in the jungle. Do we expect to kind of see focus for Team Liquid around that mid lane? What do we expect to see them doing against now Keane and Zoe and Santorin on the Trundle?
I expect them to do something about the Flame in the top lane, but right now, based on just composition makeup, I would say what Impact wants to do, if I'm TL for a second, is you want Impact to have a safe laning phase, get to 6, focus the bottom side of the map, and potentially just pressure with Olleh DoubleLift onto WildTurtle and JayJ. You can see Olleh has an Ignite, and that signals to me that they're going to look for potential kill pressure here, because remember, people don't take things like heal or barrier right now in the bottom lane that often. It's more of that teleport. So I would expect the bottom lane to be the focus, and like you asked, the Syndra and playing through that lane can potentially be an avenue in.
Oh boy, we're gonna stand toe-to-toe. Watch out for that trial by fire.
GP money. Look at that, got himself
a bag already. Thank you very much. That is theft.
Oh, got a potion.
You have to imagine he reached into the robot and like took gold out of it. It's like, get your hands out of here.
What were you doing with this thing?
Still potions. One's used for Flame there. It looks like he's going to try to back. Hitting the fountain by 111 basically gets you everywhere you need to be to do some farming. He's not going to get himself back, though. Impact will stay. He's happy to do so.
Free gold.
Free gold. Monopot sitting in the inventory as well. He can queue all day. Dance all night.
95 extra gold. Whew. All right, if he backed, he wouldn't have been able to like purchase anything since he already has a corrupting potion. But
true.
Still, it's Flame starting the lane phase with much lower HP here. And remember, he's got Doran's shield and he has a potion. You know, his sustain isn't as, I would say, doesn't have as deep of a pocket in terms of sustain of potions right now compared to the GP.
Already got him to use that second potion, though, so definitely stick the harass on towards the top side as we begin this
I got another potion for Impact. All right.
Yeah.
He's got the mini health potion for free.
And it's going to start stacking in his favor even more. The corruptions are going on as well, so he's just kind of double chugging right now. Mid lane, free farm, back and forth. They shouldn't see too much action there, as Xmithie is known in his pathing for this time being. Santorin's not going to react, though. He'll just know he is safe.
Yep, but the thing is that he already took that top side of the jungle, so Xmithie will get the Krugs. Now we're going to see Santorin on the bottom side here. So I see Xmithie on the top side. That's a Ashe hawk shot from WildTurtle.
Feels good.
Kill a little bit more to get level 3 there. Yeah, Santorin's going to kill this Scuttle Crab on the bottom side. This will actually deny a mark from Xmithie because he killed the top Scuttle before it was marked. The bottom one is the one that is marked that whole time. So see what happens, actually making a little bit of a gank onto mid lane here, or at least waiting. Oh, okay, Xmithie. Remember, Flame spotted this with the hawk shot earlier.
How early he gets himself into the brush, tries to deny vision, still has a flash. They look mid lane for a gank as well.
Ooh.
Flames out on the top with a flash, and Santorin able to come in with a chomp and take down Pobelter for first blood.
Yeah, Pobelter, he actually ends up not flashing there, and he looks to cleanse the Sleepy Trouble Bubble, so I think he was really, really greedy with his summoner spells.
Yeah.
Let's watch this one more time, because what happens is the Sleepy Trouble Bubble actually goes through, I believe, the Trundle pillar to extend the range slightly. And so it keeps going, ends up in front of Pobelter. So watch this. Pillar down, goes through it to extend the range, lands in front of Pobelter, and instead of flashing, he goes for the cleanse, and then the Ignite comes out afterwards. So he was just too greedy with his summoner spells. Instead of flashing, just wanted to cleanse things off and walk away. But that's not how it was going to happen there, because he still ate the Q.
Trickery. I was gonna say, with all that play happening, that level 2 hawk shot really allowed that play to happen. A good assist from the bot side of, you really don't remember the assist when it happens a few passes before the goal. But that one, WildTurtle setting it up, knowing where Xmithie was, Santorin was able to cut in from the bottom side of mid. So starting off, FlyQuest is just trying to take a bit of control anywhere they can.
It's a really great point, because they knew that Xmithie was topside on the Krugs because of the hawk shot, and then he can go ahead and gank middle, or at least wait for something. And then as soon as Santorin showed him, or Xmithie showed himself topside, then
Bing, bang, boom.
yep, immediately you can go in. But for that gank that ended up being successful for FlyQuest, there was a gank that was moderately successful. Both the flash and the teleport are gone from Flame in the top side, and he backed at pretty low gold values. So he has only a refillable here. And so the TP is kind of wasted. So Impact will actually be able to back TP in with an item. I don't know what he's able to really buy right now.
Is he rich?
No, he's not that rich.
No, he's not
Yeah,
at all.
you want to be able to get something like Sheen, but he's going to go for Null Magic Mantle.
Yeah. It helps. Oh,
but look at this. They're saying you TP into the wrong neighborhood.
Crowd. 5 minutes in. FlyQuest say we need to continue to activate this advantage, and it's going to be tanks for Flame. He gets out safely. Santorin now heating up the turret down to 100 HP. Impact left and right. What a dance-off! A god! Impact says top die, but not me.
Oh my, he outplayed a 1v3.
Insane.
They were juggling the aggro. Impact is almost going to die that whole time. That was crazy.
Incredible. And FlyQuest, in a way of obviously microing in and out, we're still trying to get that kill. That wasn't a yeah, we'll leave it for you. Impact definitely was dancing himself into safety in every situation there. 1-to-1 as Dragon is now picked up by Xmithie, but we will see this again.
Let's see this one more time. So Impact, let's go from his perspective here. Barrel, gets the barrel, ends up chaining it. This right here, the Sleepy Trouble Bubble, uses the orange on that. He waits for it. Santorin takes first shot. Keane flashes out, and then Flame takes that last shot. Yeah, Keane actually could have killed him there. Flash to the left, there's flash under, hold on.
Oh, shot underneath power, last auto from Pobelter. He gets a bit of retribution from the first blood.
Oh my god, because Keane doesn't have his flash from earlier, that's Pobelter saying, we're gonna go ahead and throw this one down. Flash ultimate, or ultimate with the flash, and then the final attack afterwards.
Yeah. Xmithie on the run now as well, starting to invade Santorin's jungle. Bot side has back. We got a bit of mismatch there as well, so breathing room on the bot. And it looks like top side with teleports down will also slow down just a little bit. A wave pushing in for Flame here as Impact. He's gonna let that come in nice and slow and farm it close to his turret.
Just kind of waiting for it. And actually very defensive itemization here for Impact. Went for the Spectre's Cowl. So he's gonna just try to reduce some of that magic damage he's taking. And also, Rumble usually wants to get something like Oblivion Orb very early on, 2 penetration items, and this will allow you to kind of be ahead of the curve there. So you take a little bit of a power trough early, don't have things like Sheen to bully him out, but then it means that the Rumble is less effective against you later in the game.
Big damage discrepancy for that bot side. Pickaxe to Scepter and Longsword. I don't know how much of a fight they want to get in right away, but Xmithie now, Santorin actually hiding in the fog of war at this point. They're gonna get a quick hit onto Xmithie, dodges out on the Drowsy Bubble with a flash. And he will not be able to get out with blue.
Keane went to go grab another flash there. WildTurtle actually slowing up Olleh. Oh, almost got him with the tip of the tongue.
Very, very close. DoubleLift wouldn't have been able to do much there. 6 for him. They could have activated on Olleh with that level 5. Just not being sure how close it was. FlyQuest plays safe. All that action, and Team Liquid still able to grab 2 kills. A big solo play by Pobelter in mid lane, hitting up Keane, who were looking to bounce back today after a pretty rough game on the Orianna yesterday.
Yeah.
Really looking to put some damage down on that Zoe. There's a Drowsy already to start things. The cleanse right from Pobelter.
Yep. Throwing out the cleanse early at that point, making sure another kind of bad situation doesn't happen for him. But remember, he doesn't have cleanse now. He doesn't have flash, so he's pretty gankable. Right now, they see Xmithie because of the wards, and gonna actually try to head him off.
FlyQuest is doing a great job at just giving Team
Got
Liquid a lot to think about. Lamb's Spike goes down. Cannon Barrage is a little bit outside the fight, but the damage is still coming through. Keane slowly walking up. A bubble through the wall could hit Impact. He's just gonna go forward. Stopwatch is there, and coming through the Paddle Star hits just in time. Great hold by Keane. His stopwatch is there. Xmithie, no mana, can't really follow forward, but now they still want him. Santorin takes the aggro to start things off with a smite, and he's gonna get out alive at the end. FlyQuest with a huge play topside. A lot of resources wasted, but they get impact.
And they played that dive perfectly. The previous one, not so much, but they give a lot of free time to Pobelter in the mid, who's now 30 CS up over Keane. Yeah. Sure, the kills went over, and the team is now back in a good state, but let's see this one more time here. So they catch Xmithie, they throw down the equalizer. Even though he has Wolf down, you know he has a 2-second cooldown on the jump. Jumps again, tries to get away, throws down the ultimate, and then Impact is slowing. And right here, they decide they're going to turn it around because Keane has actually been sacrificing CS just for lane priority. Then uses the stopwatch. Keane's actually going to pick that stopwatch up here, goes towards it, uses the stopwatch to ignore the tower shot. Santorin is now going to be the one who tanks it as they re-dive. And that's where they get the finishing touches there. Santorin gets the triumph, walks away. Has the W down too. Remember, the W increases all the healing that Trundle takes, so the triumph is a little more effective there too and giving him extra HP.
Feels great. FlyQuest being very, very proactive in the early part of the game, especially on this Rumble lane. A lane where you don't find too much crowd control unless you're hitting harpoon after harpoon. And you have no hard card control from Santorin's Trundle, but still, if he's under the turret, that means we're gonna have him in a small area anyways, and that's all they want at this point. Impact's gonna be a little more ready for it next time. But still, FlyQuest has the wards that keep pulling behind that top side, so they may keep going after it. Things slow down, but I'm sure it'll go very quick right again. Xmithie already hovering towards that bot side.
Xmithie hovering towards the bot side to try and get something there, but Keane keeps dipping into fog, and he got himself the Scuttle Crab on the top side. And I feel like Xmithie hasn't gotten a single mark. Yeah, he's 0 marks right now. All of the Scuttle Crabs have been taken from him. Didn't get that first one. And then he hasn't been able to participate in any kills. Right now, he currently has Keane marked, but it's the Zoe that has a flash. It's actually pretty difficult to take him down.
That 4 mark 75 range is huge, especially for this team. You're getting poked by so many things that slow you, tag you, just allow the other team to get another grab. So he really wants to get those 4 marks as fast as possible. I'm sure FlyQuest is going to be on them even more now.
Yeah, it's going to take him forever, though, because now it's only on Scuttle Crabs.
Right, so changes after that early part. No, they're all you're forced to go in the jungle to get those early ones.
So if you can control the Scuttle Crabs, Xmithie could potentially never get a mark, because you'll see them coming up, and if you have priority, or if you use Keane, who's throwing away CS and experience to go ahead and get advantages in terms of the map. Hold on, though.
This could be huge. Liquid only has vision on the bot side. If FlyQuest play into this, they get a big return on investment if they can hit the kills. DoubleLift can't really reach it. Xmithie's almost in range to get the Dread Mount onto slow, but they do not grab FlyQuest, who in and out of the jungle safely doesn't have to waste any summoner spells.
Yeah, it's a big power spike for DoubleLift too. They really do want to fight around that bottom side because he got the Storm Razor. It's kind of that new Kaisa build I was talking about where it's not full AP anymore. You go for the Storm Razor for the 75 AD and 30% attack speed, so it gets you your Q and your E evolution off of 1.5 items after that. So it's a really, really great build. The Rageblade comes in as 3rd. And it's pretty good for team fighting, too. I think it's kind of, if you have a front line or if you have a way to survive, it's a little bit better than the AP build at this current state of the game. Also, it doesn't take as long to ramp. You're actually doing decent damage throughout the lane phase instead of sitting on Pickaxe and Amp Tome. Team play bottom. They're trying to shut down DoubleLift and Olleh.
FlyQuest were just here. They didn't like the situation before, but now they route around Team Liquid. Olleh's first impact and DoubleLift taking big damage on the backside of the fight. Xmithie's trying to teeter in to get a few more. Santorin and Flame are low. Are they able to follow through with the kills as Labs despite hits? They're looking for the targets, and they find Santorin. Pobelter comes up huge on the late rotation and takes one down for himself. Keane, JayJ, and Flame limp away from the fight as Xmithie skips forward for more kills. Team Liquid turned that one around beautifully.
That was so close, too. That ultimate from Flame looked like it was going to be pretty good, but people were able to move off of it just in time. And then the Lamb's respite, perfectly placed from Xmithie. It saved so many people, and it forces them to kind of overdive. When you're underneath this turret, everybody's got to either get in the Lamb's respite, or you have to back off. And you'll see right here when it comes out, it's so important. That's a really good ultimate. They stun impact on it, but he's able to get out with a W. And then Xmithie goes forward, saves DoubleLift, Impact walks in it, and now WildTurtle is stunned, and he takes turret aggro, so extra shots on him as Pobelter shows up. So that was so well played mechanically from Xmithie to save his teammates, and for Pobelter to stun WildTurtle and allow them to get that kill. And
Possible fight now, Rift Herald. Pobelter gets locked up, they want that damage. Xmithie onto Shelly, they know he is occupied, but still gonna be able to grab it as Santorin goes down, almost sub 200 HP. Look at the amount of damage in that fight. All kind of stopped at the end by that Kindred ultimate, as Xmithie was able to save DoubleLift. I always love that moment because I figure like if you were in a Kindred ultimate, you look around for the low health, and as soon as it's about to pop, your eyes just kind of glare at that one guy, and everybody looks over, and you're like, oh man, I need to get out of here right now.
they had 3 people in there.
Yeah, exactly. So. DoubleLift had his speed up just in time to get out as all eyes were on him. Great play coming about for Team Liquid as FlyQuest is also doing a great job at continuously making these plays, finding openings. Even after they were just pushed out of that bottom side jungle, they went back and almost made it work, we'll say, but got in there very nicely.
Xmithie got his first mark, too.
That's a good point. I was going to say, clear that up and take his blue now.
Potentially just give that over to Pobelter. Pobelter actually 2-1-0 and 20 CS up, so he's been doing quite well in terms of just dominating the lane over Keane, and Keane has been going elsewhere to get these kills. Kind of 100% KP for Keane as well as Santorin, so he's been roaming around in kind of a duo here between the mid and the jungle. But that mid turret, you can see that's kind of the price he's been paying for those ganks on the side. Yeah, it feels like Keane potentially needs to get more out of these ganks or have them go even harder in FlyQuest's favor for what he's sacrificing here, because that'll be first turret going down if they get that one. So yeah, I feel like right now pressure is on FlyQuest's bottom lane to push that top lane turret in, try to get first turret ASAP, and then make sure that mid lane doesn't go down. But right now, Xmithie, he's got Rift Herald. He can just put Rift Herald down mid and guarantee first turret. Or if they really want to be greedy with it, they can get that turret, and then they can put down the Rift Herald and try to get more.
Pressure bot side, they may try to help out, or like you said, put that Rift Herald mid, knowing they're not going to get pressure in from Santorin now. Asleep, almost stopped, and Pobelter coming in with Unleashed Power, and Keane takes a fight that's obviously a 2v1. Top lane now starting to get pushed back as Santorin and Flame activate on the bot side. A lot trying to happen here for FlyQuest as they lose Keane.
Yeah, Keane died with 5 seconds left on Ignite, so I think what he wanted to do is go in, try to burst him if they had gone back a little bit further, and then get the Ignite down for that little extra damage. But even then, it's a Kindred who can ulti himself, so it just seems a little bit overzealous there. Big mistake from Keane instead of just straight up disengaging.
And think of the play if kind of what you said had happened. That top turret gets pushed down. You now move the enchanted crystal arrow from Turtle around the map to be an engagement anywhere. That stops mid from going down, adds a little more pressure. But TL once again, a few steps ahead. He's going to be able to grab another mark now to have 2.
Yep, and they were able to crack that mid turret and break that one down. So his first turret going over to Team Liquid. Tahm is going to get them back on top faster for FlyQuest. Make sure that they don't lose their own. So it's kind of a race to get these outer turrets down. First one already went. They were racing for that a little bit, but JayJ, Xmithie in the right place again.
Should be okay. Good damage to do. They'll heal up a little bit, but that's what they want. They'll be able to do that damage to the turret over and over as well. Slowly make their way around to the outside turrets. Little pressure top side. Keane does have the redemption. This could be a long dive. They get the heal on the team. A nice block for Olleh. They try to get DoubleLift as well, just on the back of the fight, but it looks like the mixed focus. DoubleLift gets back in to save his support. It looks like they may still go down in the frying pan, though. A very nice try as DoubleLift goes full killer instinct on that one, but finds himself on the ground.
Yep, and that's the engage. WildTurtle throws down the arrow, and then they throw out the pillar to kind of stop the disengage that DoubleLift would have if you just kept running. And so they force them to fight. They take the fight. They lose it on the side of Team Liquid. And now we're going to see Rift Herald. I think that one is an ambitious Rift Herald. She's it's kind of rude. You take Shelly out and you force her to walk.
Yeah, she'll get there. That's so far.
Yeah.
Pobelter's like, I got this, don't worry.
She's going to take her heels off halfway down the
part of the wagon.
The lane.
Oh! He says, no, this is mine. Doesn't even have to use Lamb's Respite. Or Respite.
I think
I'll say Respite.
I think they're both acceptable, / one is a little bit more. I think Respite is probably. I don't know. Anyway, I'll look it up later.
Well, he didn't need it. Just out smite on that one. Santorin 10, Xmithie 11. That's going to help him a little bit as well, getting that second level of ultimate. Heal up here on the dive. A quick arrow to start. We were expecting to see those arrows for a while.
And WildTurtle tanks it, gets out of range before he gets knocked up by the ultimate. Santorin now has it, which is perfect. Santorin gets eaten by JayJ, and then JayJ spits him out, and the aggro swaps to Keane, I believe, at that point later. But once again, Siege down bottom, trading for the top side of the map. So DoubleLift and Olleh, I think they're going to push in here. Red buff's about to come up, so they may just take the red buff and get out, or they may try to kill Flame and get more threat out on the map here. Yeah, red buff for DoubleLift. I think that's kind of what's on the table here for Team Liquid.
Yep. Trade around. So you take mine, I'll take yours.
Ooh. Okay, so second item? It looks like he might go second item Rage Blade after the Stormrazor. So there's been a lot of kind of variations, but your typical 3 core is Stormrazor, Runeant's Hurricane, and having the Rage Blade. So he already has the Q evolution, because all that takes is Stormrazor plus Pickaxe, and that gives you the 10 missiles from Acathian Rain.
Santorin, Chain Vest, Stopwatch, Merc Treads. You're sorting in all the mitigation right now, so he can just be a beast once he gets a nice Subjugate on.
And actually something I will point out here for DoubleLift as well is he's gone for the Rage Blade second, but having the Recurve Bow, Zerker's Greaves, and Stormrazor, plus the Pickaxe, this actually gives him Q and E evolution with 1 item and parts of other items plus boots. So this is actually really fast in terms of getting 2 evolutions thanks to Stormrazor.
Keane trying to use GLP, gets himself to save the Killer Instinct, and immediately DoubleLift takes down Zoe. Pobelter drops JayJ's Kench. The double kill there for Pobelter, as this team can activate in the split.
The blink of an eye.
Blink of an eye. I was gonna say split second blink of an eye. Add those two together, they don't make a good sentence.
The split of an eye.
The split of an eye sounds painful. That's exactly what Team Liquid was about to do there.
Well, they did a FlyQuest.
21 minutes in.
Yeah, that was so fast in terms of the engage. And it all started with just Xmithie running up and basically popping Keane. And then Pobelter followed up on the WildTurtle.
So
we'll see it again, though, in a bit. But hold on.
It's almost like watching that happen is you have a Nocturne on your team. Yeah, seriously. It's so quick and just you have no time to react. See it again.
Yep.
Go a little too far forward, and Keane hovers the top side where they don't have vision.
So watch Xmithie come in and watch Pobelter. So as soon as boom, flash forward, throws out the R, WildTurtle flashes after, and then boom, DoubleLift got in there too with the Killer Instinct and got the Q, which locked on and got him that kill. And now he's at 2 completed items, has the Rage Blade and the Stormrazor, and he's good to go in terms of this Kaisa build. This is where you can have those team fights.
Very good to go. All the protection he has on the front lane too with Olleh and Xmithie's ult from Kindred. 10 stacks on Pobelter's Soul Stealer. He's going to feel pretty good with that as well, spitting out the damage. And the long range engage just allows them to figure if they want the fight or not. But they've been following up on everything Pobelter and Kindred or Xmithie have been hitting.
I mean, Pobelter's definitely feeling it. Majai's Soul Stealer, 10 stacks on it, 5-1 and 0 on this Syndra. 40 CS up. He is playing so well. There you go.
Well, how about a 3v1 to take him down? Uses the stopwatch quickly. A 1v1 up top.
Scatter.
WildTurtle goes down. Pobelter, scatters back. And does DoubleLift go in? Killer Instinct is on, but he chooses JayJ as the target as Keane was the mark. trying to switch it up and go for the no-look kill, but FlyQuest all retreat from that fight, and the pressure now starts to mount around the map. Impact's able to push as Team Liquid is still able to win these fights.
And Team Liquid are now up about 5,000 gold, a little bit more than that. And they're looking to push this top wave, looking to push the bottom wave. They actually have control of all 3 lanes off of just WildTurtle dying and just the macro here. Has a great pressuring in terms of getting the most for the tiny advantages.
Yep. Slow janitorial duty by Flame to the bot side. And we'll see here in mid again what happened.
Oh, yeah, found an Xmithie in the middle.
He's like,
yeah, Xmithie was sitting on a control ward. He threw out the ultimate. He's like, I'm trying to hit Pobelter. Hits the guy in between.
pie to the face. Xmithie's like, that pie tastes good.
Yeah, WildTurtle walked right up afterwards. He's just not looking. I mean, Ashe is looking at her target space, seeing like, did the arrow hit? And then that's that moment where you go, wait, where's the arrow? And you pan up, and there it is.
Why is my screen blinking red? The painful moments we all endure. Flame, a good vision coverage here by Xmithie and team. He's going to get some damage on here. Dread will slow down Flame. He's going to get Scrap Shield down. Equalizer really puts them on the back foot, though. Xmithie instantly down to half HP, but the pull of pressure with Abyssal Voyage brings over Turtle and JayJ.
Yep. And Xmithie does have 4 stacks now, so he has the increased range on both his basic attack and something that people don't also consider is it extends the range of your abilities as well.
75.
Yeah, the acquisition range of your Q, as well as, I believe, the application range of your E. So
yes,
having a longer range slow is very, very beneficial.
Even against this team as well, when you deal with drowsy bubbles and volleys of frosty arrows in your face, you don't want to be in there for too long if you can't make an impact in the fight. And that man right now, Impact, on the bottom side of this map. Huge in how many turrets they have. 5-2 currently, which means the global goal just in the pockets of Team Liquid. Currently around 7,000 in the lead as they pick up another Ocean Drake. Next will be Cloud if they want to sandwich those oceans in.
Yeah, when they have these Ocean Drakes, it means they can 1-3-1, they can go ahead and 4-1 with Impact on the side lane, who also has a Spirit Visage, which is doing wonders for him, because there's a lot of AP between the Rumble and the Zoe, so he's actually a pretty tanky Gangplank right now.
Team Liquid, as we said, back half of the split, 4 wins already. This with FlyQuest, this will be another 2-0 week if they could take it, with Optic and 100 Thieves in week 8, and then Fox and TSM. So it's very likely that Team Liquid, if they play in continuous strength, could take the rest of their games, according to standings.
Yeah, the interesting thing though is like, well,
whoa! That was a big damage hit.
The interesting thing though is Team Liquid are first place right now. There's nobody tied with them. They're at 9-4. They can just start going up the standings and locking a playoff spot for them by next week. But also, like you said, the remaining schedule is Optic, 100 Thieves, Fox, TSM. 100 Thieves and Fox are literally 1 game behind them in second place right now. They're the teams that are so close in the standings, and they've yet to beat them this half of the split. And then Optic, they're also a team that's on a surge right now in terms of a win streak at 5 wins themselves. And so Team Liquid's next 3 games are games that they can't take lightly. This is kind of the one that you would expect them to win based on strength, and if they can find some consistency on Team Liquid's side. But then they're going to have kind of a rough road ahead of them and really have to prove that they deserve #1 against the teams that are right next to them.
Have to keep it up. That's the kind of end run as well. They definitely have a target on their heads for it.
Remember, we move to, I believe, patch 8.15 next week, so then marksmen are buffed, their items are changed, slash keeper, and their power spikes come in sooner, so DoubleLift will be sitting pretty in that, because he's basically been favoring marksmen the entire split.
True.
Save for, you know, an awkward game here or there.
Save for an Alistar Varus and, Alistar Vladimir, thank you.
Yeah, there was another Vladimir game, too, that people don't like to talk about.
Then let's not. Keep that in the bag. For the fans' sake, Zirene. Solid pressure from Team Liquid. Really not overextending. Not tracking them, but we're not seeing a lot of hawk shots from WildTurtle, kind of reopening the map, clearing a possible opening for that enchanted crystal arrow. The follow-up from Keane should still be able to take 1 or 2 out, but to Team Liquid's credit as well on that side, they're not leaving themselves open in those solo situations to be taken down. Here now they chase around FlyQuest, just really spreading out their numbers.
Xmithie is just trying to 1v1, and he's actually like almost like a split push jungler right now. He's gathering the side lane farm. He's got 2 items that both do percentage of HP, one current, the other one max.
I like it. New class, Splungler.
Yeah, and then he's also got the QSS
Lock it down
on top of it. So, you know, Xmithie's in a great spot now and can actually split push and pick up some farm and get ahead of the curve. He's 3 levels ahead of Santorin right now. He's even with his basically the solo laners in experience. So he's, you know, we're talking about him having the tilt-proof honor from yesterday. Right now,
you do 130 more damage a smite at that level as a higher jungler. How do you win objectives?
you hope it got burst past that point. That's about it.
Holy mackerel.
But let's talk about for a second how this game is looking for FlyQuest, because they're 8,000 gold down. The way they get back in this is off of picks. You're seeing that shut down with QSS purchases. You're also seeing that with the Banshee's Veil onto Pobelter, and locking down Impact will be tough too with the Sleepy Trouble Bubble. Or even an Arrow, because he can stand in front, soak it, and then just use the W. They're going to have to go after people who can't really get rid of those effects, like this.
Redemption coming in. Nice knockups. They do take him down. The Rangers focus from WildTurtle. Able to come through with the damage. A few assists there are great for FlyQuest if they can keep tagging on a few more. Xmithie's just in the fog of war. Pobelter could hit Santorin. They should be safe on this one. It wasn't Xmithie, rather just Pobelter by himself, as he is hovering the bot side. Xmithie and Pack going for Flame once again. He has not had fun.
He's almost playing this as if he were a Kha'Zix, where you hover around and you shadow, is the technical term. You shadow a side lane that you have a split pusher in, you have somebody in the off lane. And so you shadow them and make sure when they back that the other guy can't shove up and that Flame can't equalize the lane and get to a point where he gets to roam. And then when the GP is pushing up, you threaten a dive as well. So shadowing the lane is very powerful in locking down Flame and preventing him from even having an effect on the map, which the Rumble wants to have. It's not a split pusher. He has to hold farm underneath turret, and he can't go and have these equalizers in team fights that he's shooting for right now. Wait, oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, Xmithie himself just had such a fantastic second half of the split with different champions and Nocturne, Trundle, Graves, Kindred 2 games in a row now. And starting off this fight right in the front of Santorin, forcing the Devour from JayJ. The voice of the team and what he brings and the power inside the Rift now has to be leveling up Team Liquid.
Oh, looking for a mark.
Gonna get it. Level himself up. Be like, I level the team up and myself.
Yeah, but he's level 16. He's 3 ahead of Santorin still, doing a fantastic job in the jungle, and he's becoming a big threat himself. So there's multiple threats. Let's see, QSS, make sure it doesn't even happen.
I'm not drowsy, you're drowsy.
It's the caffeine QSS.
Oh, plasma the Gromp.
Make that Gromp stuffed!
That's great.
At that point, you gotta kill it. You gotta teach it a lesson.
It's like, all right, foul and still make the layup.
There you go, DoubleLift with the 3 items completed. This is a team fighting Kaisa build where you just apply plasma to as many people as possible, and then just try to get the Q and E evolution ASAP to just have this really nice power curve in your games. This is before the changes to the price of both the Runettes Hurricane and the Stormrazor, so. Oh, wait.
10% immediately. WildTurtle lives with just the sliver devoured in. That's huge if he can get back on the map. Oh, my word.
Kill.
Targeting. Cannon Barrage comes down from Impact. Now they're on to JayJ. There's only so much you can do as a support. It was a valiant attempt, and you will also go down. DoubleLift drops JayJ as it's just too much. There's so much follow-up from Team Liquid at this point, and now they'll start to take down bottom turret as well.
Yeah, don't know why he used the stopwatch there. He's saying, JayJ, go next. That's one where you're just kind of, things are going from bad to worse. Like, WildTurtle gets caught out, almost dies. He's going to get popped there by the ultimate from Impact, which is well played on the final little touches. This is blind. They don't have the vision there. WildTurtle is safe. That's just a check there from Pobelter. Check comes up, doesn't bounce, comes up clean. And Impact's the one who cashes it in.
blocked, Fisher out. Quite a bit used by Liquid here just to defend without really any answer. Oh, arrow goes through. Pobelter has to be forced to cleanse.
This is great for
Lamb's Westwood is down for 3. FlyQuest entering into the fight. They're looking to take down Liquid, shredding the health bars, but not finding the kills. There's one. A second one for Olleh. No, Xmithie is first, but Olleh will fall as he's forced to run away from the base, teleport into the mid lane from DoubleLift as he wants to short-change FlyQuest down the mid lane. And he'll be able to stop the minions, but will they stop the Baron?
I don't know. Doesn't end up pushing with the minion wave. Impact and Doublelift, they're going to have to pull off a hero play here. It is 2v5. They're going to try to go for a triple barrel chain.
Impact's ult just came back up. He's going to be able to throw that down as well. It does have the attack speed over time building up, but Cathie Rain is in as his killer instinct is on. 1 kill coming in for Impact. Baron is low. Baron down to 500. It's going to be grabbed by WildTurtle as they take down Impact. Now the fight's on to DoubleLift as the 3 members in the pit live with a sliver of health. A huge play from FlyQuest to even up the game 12-12, but they're still down in gold.
But they haven't lost any of their inhibitor turrets. Their base isn't going to have perma pressure on it. This is the perfect time to have a Baron for them. FlyQuest are back in this game off of what was an ambitious Baron call here from Team Liquid. I don't know how they ended up getting so low. Watching a little bit before this would be helpful, but right there, Flame and WildTurtle team up perfectly. Right there, has to throw down the Lamb's Restless, who doesn't have it for when he's dove later. And Flame just says, you see him wait here for a second, Flame on. Goes in, uses the Q, just roasts both of them, and picks up the double there. And this was just absolute chaos. I'll try to make sense of this really quickly, because DoubleLift goes to the backside, Keane flashes out, pulls him up, and then Impact went to the back, says, I gotta kill the jungler, I gotta give my team a chance. But then Keane comes back in over and get that kill.
Back to live. And WildTurtle and the team are humming down mid lane like a freight train. Impact getting hit up. He's going to be able to get himself to safety and quickly stop. They're getting all the waves pushed up. Top could be next if a fight does not follow. Oh,
Keane line it up with the sleep there, but man, if there's anything that we have learned about FlyQuest in the second half of the split is that the game is not over until Alawi is singing, because right now they say, all right, base races come into play. We're gonna take your Nexus. Here, the Baron comeback, 6,000 gold. It was 10K at one point. Now we're only looking at 4,000 as a difference here after that Baron.
Xmithie staying safe. Guardian Angel's up if they do need to make some type of play where they just have to go ham on this. It does not look like that play will be now, as FlyQuest still playing it safe, even though they have the lead. 1:30 left on Baron buff. They may get a few more seconds out of that, but I think their damage is done for now. And what a recoup for them from the early game.
Yeah, and one of the things that this Team Liquid composition lacks is a tank. But the reason that they kind of drafted more squishy lanes and squishy jungler is after they started seeing the Trundle come through, which was the 4th pick, they were like, all right, our solo laners are Syndra Gangplank. We're not going to play a tank top for Impact. We don't want to give stats over to Santorin. And now it's saying, well, Santorin's not the only one who thrives when there's no tanks.
Quick Blade of the Rune King gives enough slows, but the follow-up Fisher makes FlyQuest fall into the pit so they can't follow. 36 minutes on the clock. 4 Drakes are in favor of Liquid. So with Elder in 1 minute, that is a lot of pressure to be put on the map. DoubleLift knows he's just a little too far out, even with the Kaisa movement speed. Xmithie's found. Should be good at half HP. Doesn't want the Guardian Angel to proc.
Wait.
The burn is there.
Woo!
But not enough.
Absolutely calculated. What?
Not even close.
What was that? That was...
How much? How much?
Getting the official count.
13?
13 HP? 13 HP.
Today, 13 is a lucky number.
Let's see which team hits that and kills first, because right now,
who's gonna get
12 and 12, neck and neck. And now we're getting to that point of the game where people are hitting those 4 item spikes, and so the gold is going to mean less and less as time goes on here.
Absolutely.
And we're already kind of at that point, because there's things like stopwatches and inventories kind of clogging them up a little bit. Pobelter's the one who I think really has a good, solid lead over his opponent, whereas it's 4 items for both marksman, and then in the top side, it's really kind of just this Caulfield's Warhammer advantage, where you look at mid, it's kind of an item and a half as a lead for Pobelter.
Yeah, he has about a 2,300 gold lead on his opponent, if I know how to count. Everyone else is just around 1,000 to 900. So that lead is definitely helping. And the scat of the weeks are really how a lot of what TL was starting with the vision control up by Raptors. That's gone on the side of FlyQuest. They have vision control on the bot side now. They are getting hit up as FlyQuest feels strong enough to pressure in. Xmithie over the wall, gets a Blade of the Rune King in to try and deter the fight. That's a resurrection. He's going to have to throw it on the ultimate. Olleh can't get the Lamb's Respite if he goes down first. Xmithie throws it, but Olleh has to back up, and FlyQuest is very low as they enter in. A draw indeed as the guns come out, and DoubleLift goes crazy with the rest of the team. The killer instinct from all of Team Liquid aces FlyQuest.
Right there, Xmithie again throws down the Lamb's Respite, able to survive with the Guardian Angel, and they're walking in. That's the celebratory flash there from Impact saying, it's over, boys. They're going to push for the win.
Guns blazing as soon as the fight started. The amount of time they had to see the fight and assess what was supposed to happen with Xmithie coming back up was all that they needed. As Team Liquid now start on the inhibitor turrets, an uncontested base from FlyQuest. It did have its falters, but Team Liquid will find the last Nexus turret and take down the FlyQuest Nexus.
It was close. There were some nervous moments
very
there for
much
Team
so.
Liquid. That Baron is something they're going to have to look back at, but 5-game winning streak here, undefeated in the second half, as Team Liquid have 4 more games to play, and they move to 10-4 as their record here at the end of week 6.
It's gotta feel good. Another 2-0 week. So 2 of those in a row. It was 1-1 week 5, but that streak, as you said, 5 games now. Very, very strong.
And so far, Team Liquid has been kind of taking care of business. There were some shaky games, like against Golden Guardians.
Sure.
Their game yesterday as well versus 100 Thieves didn't start off perfectly. And in this game, there's some things like the Baron that they can look at, and they really have to kind of review as they prepare for Optic, 100 Thieves, and FlyQuest, and Fox, as well as TSM as their last 4 games. So they play 3 of those teams that are near the top of the standings, and those 2 that are right behind them. So as we end the split, TL will have a chance to prove that they are definitively #1 going into playoffs.
Yep. And FlyQuest as well. They have Clutch, CLG, Golden Guardians, and Cloud9 as they move forward. Definitely strength seen from the bot lane of these guys, and somewhere they should definitely be looking as well as Flame. Santorin in the jungle is everywhere. And if they get top and bottom going, you almost have the full map covered.
Yeah, you're talking about Santorin. Xmithie in the jungle has been doing work in the second half here. That guy has been playing a mad Kindred game.
Absolutely. So for more on that win from Team Liquid, let's send it down to Olleh and Xmithie.
Thanks, guys. Xmithie, congratulations on that win. Team Liquid is slowly increasing the gap between you guys and the rest of the pack. How important is that to you coming into playoffs?
I mean, the bye is always good for us. It gives us 1 more week of practice, and we can see the other opponents, like team comps and stuff. So, yeah, it's not really like a break for us. It's like just more practice, pretty much.
And coming into the game, Keane said that the game against FlyQuest would be a little difficult. So what made today hard, and how are you guys able to pull it off?
Actually, to be honest, like this game was like solely relying on our solo lanes, like solo killing their opponent and like surviving that 1v3 top by Impact. I guess we got kind of lucky at this game, and we had a lot of misplays and misfights like during mid game, so we need to work on that.
What kind of things do you think you could improve on?
Mainly, I guess just respecting what the other opponent does. I think that's what we lack the most, and we usually just die to pretty much these like cheese ganks or like random fights, and yeah, we just need to work on it.
Xmithie, thank you. And for more on the game, let's hear from the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you very much, Olleh. What a way to kick off a day. That game 1 between Team Liquid and FlyQuest sure delivered. Team Liquid coming out on top, though, 5-0 on the back half of the split. I want to revisit win conditions, Jap, because you had laid out some pretty specific and lengthy win conditions for FlyQuest, specifically around the draft, given that they were on red side. How do you feel they played to that?
They got Zoe, which is the goal. Like, you can mix around the bans. I actually think FlyQuest did a better version of it by still not even really having to trade an Aatrox or Nocturne level pick to get Keane on a pick, which he had been undefeated with prior to this game. So I think they mostly put themselves in a really good position to succeed.
And I think they did some smart stuff within that, too. They actually didn't go for the Zoe first pick just because it fell to them. They actually went for the Tahm Kench and Ashe, which were two things that, one, Olleh's been playing a ton of Tahm Kench, and DoubleLift looked great on the Ashe yesterday, so they take those two things away. And because it doesn't feel like Pobelter loves to play the Zoe, they actually do get that one as well.
Still being able to pick that one up in the next rotation. Mark, you as well had some win conditions for Team Liquid. They included don't do anything stupid at level 1. They perfectly fulfilled those win conditions. So let's dive into some gameplay itself. FlyQuest, the aggressors.
Yeah, definitely required a little bit more than just that level 1. They had to play some very tough situations very well. Impact here, being able to cleanse the Drowsy, get out at the right times. The minion wave was dying, so it forced FlyQuest to go early. And he's able to punish what is a pretty good game plan out of FlyQuest. They have two winning side lane matchups they're going to push, and Keane is willing to sack CS to make plays like this over and over again, and he plays them super well. This R forward is beautiful because he baits the stopwatch, doesn't use his Q, and then times it perfectly when he does come out of the stopwatch, not wasting that cooldown.
Then gets the stopwatch.
Yeah, then runs forward, picks up the stopwatch to get Xmithie stuck underneath this turret, staying around. They re-engage for the dive. That was just a beautiful play by Keane, and why his Zoe was undefeated.
Yeah, and they kept trying to push the tempo onto Team Liquid, and this is where Team Liquid actually shined because they were able to keep up just enough to make these plays not break the game open. This got Pobelter ahead, this got the Kaisa and the Gangplank in a late game where Team Liquid could eventually shine, but this type of diving by FlyQuest was relentless, and it's actually they weren't bad dives. They had the tempo. They usually had the minion waves in a pretty decent place, and they were willing to go for the dive. I think actually against a lot of other teams in the LCS, these dives worked better.
Yeah, better. Team Liquid's a great team, and the thing is, like, a lot of times the dive goes poorly and a team gets gun shy or they start getting desperate, and they still mostly followed the steps to a good dive, and you saw for each one that went wrong, they immediately basically followed up with one that did go right. So the first bot lane, dual lane dive didn't work out, but then there they go, 2-for-0 once again.
Saint earlier in the day talking about how important tempo is in a game of League of Legends. FlyQuest playing to that tempo strategy. Team Liquid responding well, though, keeping themselves in the game and even developing a gold lead. This is where I want to jump to 33 minutes in. FlyQuest picking up a sweet 3-for-0 around the Baron and the Baron itself, bringing them right back into the game.
Yeah, I do think this was a bad play by Team Liquid to not reset before that Baron, considering all the vision they had. And it was a very good flash by Flame right here to potentially pull them back in the game. Up until this point, it was like a 12,000 goal lead or something.
It was getting out of hand.
Yeah, and I think you saw how well Team Liquid played after that mistake. Impact's going to get some big barrel combos and a great GPL, and intelligently focuses down Santorin first, gives them a chance at the Smite steal, which they don't end up getting. Ashe actually secures it with the Keane combo, and then DoubleLift is so close to popping off through that fight, but a nice devour keeps Flame alive and gives him more time for his cooldowns. And
4 people remain alive with that Baron buff, though, so FlyQuest did have a lot of map control from there, was able to push down some turrets, but then it all came down to the final team fight. And, Jat, you talked about the power level of Team Liquid being a marksman-oriented team, and here DoubleLift pops off on Kaisa to secure the victory.
Yeah, and before the fight, we were talking about how difficult it is to get a good Kindred ultimate off. This is an example of a very good Kindred ultimate. He comes up from GA, pops it down, and all the while, DoubleLift is getting full stack Rage Blade and has a bunch of passives ready to detonate. As soon as a Kindred ult goes up, TL dumps in all the damage, DoubleLift ults in for the squishy, TL cleans house from what was a pretty scary situation as it looked like they'd kind of thrown their lead away.
So TL does achieve the 10-4 that we had prefaced at the top of the day, actually eclipsing where they were at this point in the spring split. So while we talk about the topsy-turviness nature of the summer split, in actuality, there is a little bit of definition now beginning to form within the standings.
Yeah, thank God we're finally finding definitively the top teams. TL after
the end of week 7.
Yeah, after beating 100 Thieves, who was tied with them at the start of the week, and then getting a win over one of the teams just below 100 Thieves, it feels like they finally have established order in the LCS.
Yeah, Team Liquid will play Optic and C9 in week 8, and then Echo Fox and TSM in week 9. So depending on the trajectory of those teams, it could be a difficult stretch to end the split, but they haven't technically locked playoffs. It feels like they're locked for playoffs because they're already at 10 wins and will most likely pick up another one. But I'm really, really glad that Team Liquid is winning games right now because there is a lot of potential on that team. It looks like they're starting to sink. I just want to see if they can maintain it.
On a 5-0 win streak here, let's talk about FlyQuest for just a moment because they did so much so well and pushed our #1 team to the limits in this game, still sitting at 7-7, very much in the playoff picture. How do we feel about this squad and the loss they just suffered?
I mean, this is exactly what Jat said he was looking looking for before he's willing to call FlyQuest a top team, where the loss was a convincing loss in the sense where they put up a good fight and they had a game plan that they were executing on until Team Liquid showed that they were the better team. And they have a relatively easy schedule the rest of the way through here. So I think they actually look pretty good for the rest of the season.
Right, Clutch, CLG, Golden Guardians, and C9 are their remaining 4 opponents. C9 on a bit of a surge, but those other 3 squads definitely look vulnerable.
I can see FlyQuest ending the season 10-8.
That's solid.
That's playoffs.
Yeah, very
most
much so.
likely.
All right.
So even though they're 0-2 this week, it's promising.
A pretty sweet first game of the day. Team Liquid coming out on top, though. Time for a commercial break. When we return, it's Cloud9 squaring up against Counterlogic Gaming. Don't go anywhere.